His energy is very infectious. He has a lot of experience for the guys to learn from, and whenever Shakib is back, he's a giver. He's happy, and that's the only place we want Shakib. We want him happy. So he looks great. I think if we just leave Litton to be Litton, I think he'll show you the best of him. No different to how we prepare for another test match. We don't look back, we look forward. So we've learned the lessons, and the trick is to be able to take those lessons and apply them in this test match.
Shakib is just back in the team. Do you expecting any different thing from him?
I think any team that has Shakib in it is very, very fortunate. We welcome him back. It's always great to have him in the change room. His energy is very infectious. He has a lot of experience for the guys to learn from, and whenever Shakib is back, he's a giver. So we really enjoy having him around the group.
John's condition always been a person's paradise. How do you see his cricket so far?
Look, I mean, talking to the guys, they have mentioned talking to the ground staff. He's anticipating a good cricket wicket. So until both teams bat on it, we won't know what the wicket's like. But at the end of the day, we're not looking at outcomes. We're looking at winning small battles along the way and just improving on the last game. So whatever the conditions are, we have to adapt and be flexible to them.
In terms of batting failure in the last test, how do you guys address that? Both the innings see that
Yeah, I mean, and I think what we're missing the point here in that we've got a very young and inexperienced group. There was a very elite group before this, and now we have to build. So, the only thing that we request is that people are patient. These are very, very good young players, but they are young. They're playing against an experienced team, and it will take time to learn lessons. We wouldn't expect any different from our children when we put them into new environments. We don't expect our kids to suddenly be experts. That's why they go to school. So they're a fantastic group, and let's judge them in 2 years' time rather than now.
Could you please give some information on how is the dressing room right now, and how firstly the boys are to bounce back in this test?
I think, from a hunger point of view, they want to do really well in this test. They always really want to do well. They're a fantastic group. They get on very, very well. And you can just see by smiles on their faces. I think the important thing for us as a management group is to manage the mood of the group. And as long as we are level, then we will learn. But we certainly aren't an emotional group, and it's not an emotional change room. So, the change room is very, very healthy.
You had a long chat with Shakib Al-Hasan in the middle. How he looks fit rather than in the World Cup? Is he in good shape right now?
Yeah, I told him it looks like he's lost weight. So he's been training, he's had a good BPL, he's had a good start to Dhaka Premier League. He's happy, and that's the only place we want Shakib. We want him happy. So he looks great.
Do you have any requirement regarding the wicket for the next match, and what is your aim? What do you want from the next match?
So from the next match, what we want is to win. I think that's what everyone goes into a game. And from the state of the wicket, we get what we're given. We've got to be able to adapt. Simple.
Just from bowling point of view, there was 3 weeks in Sylhet. How do you see this test bowling lineup?
I think we'll make a decision tomorrow morning. These are not, I have the local Chittagong man here, and he tells me the weather's not normally like this. So until we wake up tomorrow morning and see what it's like, we won't make a decision on that.
Coach Litton was out in active pressure in the last innings, and he's having some tough times. How do you see him mentally, or do you have any chat with him?
Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations, and Litton's in a good space. The trouble that we generally have is that the pressure on Litton comes from the outside. I think if we just leave Litton to be Litton, I think he'll show you the best of him. If we keep jumping on his back in the media and on social media, and you keep jumping on his back, we forget that just because these guys are very able cricketers and they appear on television, at the root they're still human beings. So if we treat them like human beings and allow him to do what's best for him, I promise you he'll show you results.
Coach, the opening pair of Joy and Jackie, they are playing since last 4 tests, but there haven't been a big partnership in the big team. So are you a bit concerned about that opening pair?
So they haven't had a big partnership yet? Yeah, yet. So maybe they'll surprise you this test match. Okay.
So having Saqib definitely changed the dynamic of the team. How do you see having him? Do you see Bangladesh going for 6 bowling attack?
Again, we'll decide that tomorrow morning. But as I've said before, having Shakib, when Shakib comes into the group, it creates calmness. You know, it also supplies Shanto with an extra person he can get advice from, and a very, very experienced person on the field. So he just brings calm. You know, he's a world-class cricketer.
Coach, Shakib has told before that bowling comes natural to him, but the batting he needs to practice. But he hasn't played red ball cricket for a long time. So do you think we will get to see the better Shakib in this case at his best?
You're asking me to go into a crystal ball and tell you what I think is going to happen?
What are you expecting from the better Shakib?
I'll tell you what I expect from him is he's the professional that he is. He knows what he's done and what he hasn't done, and he'll adapt to the conditions. That's why he's world class.
Coach, are you going to miss Hatu again? He has some other plan and he has some...
Of course, I mean, Hatu's here because he's one of the best coaches in the world. But what he has done well is that he's set up an environment, along with the other support staff, where it can just tick over. Whether if any of us leave the group, the environment still continues because of the system that Hatu has put in place.